AskReddit. Now that the 2010s decade is ending, which trends are the most regrettable? This isn't a prank, it's a social experiment wherein we're going to see if people get mad when we walk up to them and punch them as hard as we can. Just all the family YouTube channels in general, being a dick to people on camera for likes from strangers. Astronomer here. No one asked me about the flat earth theory until just a few years ago. The fact that it's picked up again is just so astounding if you think about it. Frankly though, it's just part of a greater trend of anti-intellectualism, and the idea that you can now choose your own facts. I started posting about astronomy on Reddit because the misinformation I read annoyed the fork out of me, and most people are really appreciative to hear the truth. However, the cynic in me notes that astronomy facts very rarely affect our lives the way some other settled science can. And I know plenty of people out there are a huge fan of space and willfully ignore facts when it comes to, say, climate change, because the truth there is unpalatable and affects them more immediately. Carl Sagan said in the 90s in the demon-haunted world that I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time, when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide, almost without noticing, back into superstition and darkness. I think it's pretty clear this trend began in earnest in this decade, but I hope we will be able to right the ship a bit in the next one. Edit. Lots of people telling me that they don't think there are flat earthers IRL, or that it's not that big a deal. I disagree. People who get into one conspiracy theory as weird as flat earth aren't usually prone to stopping there. Second, I actually have colleagues who had a flat earther who kept coming in and threatening the astronomers in the department for their role in the conspiracy theory, and making the young women students feel very uncomfortable. He kept coming back onto campus despite a ban for some time, and I'm told it was really disturbing. I'm sure many people are joking about flat earth. Unfortunately some not in on the joke couldn't tell the difference and started listening. That weird mustache trend that was popular around 2013, you know, when teenagers would have mustaches on the phone cases, as jewelry and whatnot, clickbait, the obnoxious challenge culture. Edit. All these upvotes went to my head. That one time we had a clown problem, rebooting everything for the sake of nostalgia instead of coming up with new ideas. Coney 2012, crappy video games that is only there so you can pay to play, seemingly endless stream of movie remakes and sequels. Most poor, done mostly to make a quick easy buck off the name of the previous movie, and sadly most show a lack of creativity and original thinking. Anti-intellectualism, refusing to believe experts in their field over some crazy person on the internet. I think it got worse this decade and I hope we leave it here. Edit. Yes, you should use statistical analysis to critically analyze data presented. Yes, you should use common sense. Social media making everyone feel like they need to be heard. It's one of the main reasons why stuff like anti-vaxxers, MLMs, Nazis, cancel culture, flat earthers, etc. exists. Misinformation is just spread like a disease within echo chambers like that. Social media influencers, anti-vaxxers, midget spinners, you all remember Google+? Highly overdrawn lips and eyebrows like, I can see where your real lip ended a half-inch back. The rise of irresponsible journalism. The drop in civility. The drop in responsible use of social media. Millennials are killing the X industry. Often while completely missing that most of the millennials they're complaining about are years too young to be millennials, and that millennials aren't a single hive mind where everyone thinks the same. Facebook turning from a fun place to connect with friends to an anti-democracy data ghetto. Whatever the shit people are doing to their eyebrows. Like the 2000s were bad for eyebrows, but I'm not sure the appropriate corrective measure was to go from having the least brow possible to having the most brow possible and drawing them on so precisely you look like an anime character. Edit. You all didn't read my post? This is not a defense of the sperm brow. Or a criticism of naturally thick brows. The Instagram brows and the links people have posted are more what I am talking about. The death of legitimate journalism. Replacing it with sound bites, partisan hacks, fake news and networks in such a rush to report anything that they don't bother to fact-check. The way people just shit all over things they don't understand. It happens with everyone, not any particular groups. I'm tired of seeing people so blatantly disrespectful towards things other people enjoy. If I like X and you like Y, why do you have to argue X versus Y? Can't we just have a meaningful conversation about X and Y both being shaped by V? Edit. Yes, I know this has been happening since the dawn of man, but it has become much more apparent with the widespread use of social media. None. Let's just pretend some of them never happened. Microtransactions in gaming has been unfortunate. I have a feeling a lot of people who got huge-ass fat transfer procedures to look like a Kardashian are going to regret them in the coming decade. When future historians look back on the first generation to grow up with internet access, they'll wonder why everyone started not only embracing snake oil, but actually dreaming about becoming peddlers of it. Now, when I use the term snake oil, I'm not just talking about the likes of Dr. Oz and Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm referring to anyone who dishonestly claims to be offering something worthwhile. This hasn't just been the decade of crystal-based remedies and chakra enemas. After all, we've seen everyone from so-called scientists to self-serving performers doing whatever they can to exploit any audiences that they can attract. These people don't actually care about entertaining or informing so much as they care about staying in the spotlight for long enough to get a tan. I'll give you an example. The vast majority of the videos on YouTube are shallow and formulaic, with maybe 30 seconds worth of content being stretched out to fill, at least, 10 minutes. While many people are aware of this, far more folks are content to simply sit back and stare while an overly animated caricature of a person repeats themselves for the 15th time. There's no story being told, no knowledge being shared, and no substance to speak of. But viewers trick themselves into thinking that they're having a good time, if only because real entertainment has a somewhat similar taste to the placebo sort if you aren't really paying attention. Therein lies the crux of the problem: we don't want to pay attention. As a society, we've adopted this mindset that effort and expertise are both bad things. Anti-intellectualism runs rampant, with people actively defending it instead of looking for opportunities to improve themselves. How many writing errors do you see in a given day, do you think? How many myths do you see being repeated? And how many facts do you see being dismissed? We've become a culture that glorifies laziness and ignorance, and we try to hand-wave away any attempts at pointing them out. Worst of all, we reward the people who embody those traits. We upvote single-sentence, or even single-word, comments on /r/AskReddit. We subscribe to YouTube channels that exist for no reason other than attract views. We send the message that we'd rather embrace easy-to-understand lies than truths which might require a little bit of thought. We turn to charlatans who promise health and happiness, and we shun anyone who encourages us to actually make a damned effort for a change. In short, we encourage the mindset that snake oil, in whatever form it may take, is the most desirable substance on the planet, and that the people who peddle it should be applauded. There have always been lazy and ignorant individuals in the world, of course. However, this has been the first decade to give them preferential treatment. Dr. The 2010 saw sales of snake oil shooting through the roof. And we keep demanding more of it. How meme culture turned into a contest to produce the coolest and funniest memes. Memes are also chewed up and spat out at ludicrous speeds rather than left to naturally die. Apple killing the 3.5mm headphone jack. Wearing mental illness like a badge of honor. I am fully on board with acknowledging mental illnesses and getting people proper treatment so their lives can be improved. We should be able to talk about our problems and find solutions to them. However, my problem lies with the people who just pick and choose which mental illnesses to self-diagnose themselves with, and then they become the biggest parts of their personalities. Case in point, I saw a post on Twitter because one of my friends liked it. The person's bio reads something like, ADHD, PTSD, bipolar, manic depressive, Asperger's, possibly sociopath. That is someone I never want to interact with. At all. Gender reveal parties. Not the normal quiet events with family, but the driving need to get more and more _extreme_ with every passing year. I've seen parks ruined, beaches littered and all for something as basic as the gender of your unborn child? Spreading blue glitter everywhere doesn't somehow make the child more special than just saying it's going to be a boy. They're already special, they're your child. Logan and Jake Paul. Edit. Holy crap. Thanks for the shinnies, kind stranger. I feel like Reddit only ever talks about like 6 topics. We all could have named the top comments of this thread before clicking on it. Outrage culture _challenge. 99% were just horrible for your health. Things like the cinnamon challenge. The worst I saw it get was someone tried to start the fire extinguisher challenge. The guy put the nozzle in his mouth and hit the lever. No matter what extinguisher you're using, this is incredibly stupid. What's worse though, is he picked a dry chemical extinguisher. The second he hit that lever, he blasted a lifetime's worth of microparticulate into his lungs. His lungs are absolutely, unequivocally, well and truly fucked. TL, doctor challenges lead to stupid people doing stupid shit. MLMs, school shootings, the erosion of our privacy and freedoms. Edit, don't waste your money on silver, gold, and that crap. Edit 2, since this seems to be getting a bit of attention, let me climb up on this soapbox for a second. Instead of spending your hard-earned money on Reddit awards, not just this post but any, donate to a worthy charity instead. Give to your local no-kill animal shelter, or buy some scarves and shit for the homeless this winter. I don't know, just do something that will make you feel good and help someone. Or buy yourself something nice. Be excellent to each other. The trend where we decide that those with different political opinions aren't just wrong, but are evil. The most amazing thing about the time we live in is that most, not all, unfortunately, of the world has reasonably open political discourse, yet instead of embracing our rivals and having intelligent conversations, we become so entrenched in our own beliefs that we declare those who disagree to be bad people. We need to embrace the opportunity to learn from others and use that open dialogue to convince, and the first step to doing that is recognizing that most people are not bad people, even if they have beliefs that are diametrically opposed to our own. And #X200B. Edit, thanks for the silver, kind stranger. Edit 2, thanks for the gold. The trend of thinking that having your feelings hurt justifies compelling everyone else to stop what they're doing. Social media influencers. Making tons of money and reaching fame by becoming a brand ambassador for bogus skin products never really made sense to me. Modeling is a profession of its own, but not everyone can or should do it. Instagram has made us believe that many of these influencers have perfect lives, and the inadequacy people feel when scrolling through their feed is extremely unhealthy for society. Becoming an influencer should never have been what social media was for. Connecting with friends has now turned into admiring strangers from afar, leading many of us to feel lonelier than ever. Calling something that you don't agree with as fake news. Woke Twitter. Cancel culture. Haze. Wealth worship. The Kardashians are an obvious example with Kylie Jenner's billionaire status. Also, high surveillance. Amazon's Echo and the like being bought and placed in homes, willingly. Influencers. The increased division in party politics. Our politicians, and many other citizens, seem to take the far-right or far-left view on a political issue and refuse to consider the middle ground. Now watch me whip, now watch me nay-nay. Tribalism. Us versus them. Without middle ground. Without even attempting to find common ground. The culture of canceling people. Anyone on the verge of becoming famous or rich or already is, almost always has someone digging into their past for something that is currently offensive but was kinda acceptable back when it was said or written. People change, their views change. Doing something stupid shouldn't follow me around forever. People are really sensitive now. Cancel culture. The XYZ population is outraged. Farm Bill posts on Facebook. The mass shooting trend wasn't particularly well thought out. Internet has very successfully destroyed chances of people having a redemption in real life. Dabbing. The being alive and doing taxes challenge. I'm gonna go ahead and say TGE swag trend that most 14-year-olds liked. I thought it was silly as all hell. The online troll culture. It's easy to be negative and critical. It takes maturity to have a dialogue. Widespread anti-intellectualism. The amount of folks who found an echo chamber where their opinions are the equivalent of well-researched experts presenting facts. This includes flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, climate change denial, etc. It's simply wrong to continue to let these debates occur with equal representation. Rather, we should show the true disparity here. Either have 98 scientists debate against 2 or give one guy 98% of the face time during a discussion. Maybe then some things will get through. The don't call, insert creepy being, at 3 a.m. challenge was stupid. 1. Challenges 2. TikTok 3. Musical.ly 4. Tide Pod Shit 5. Fidget Spinners 6. Slime 7. Treating politicians like celebrities. Edit. TikTok was a joke. Trial by social media. Attempting to ruin people's lives over 5-year-old tweet. Pretending real free speech exists when, in fact, it only exists in a very narrow spectrum of acceptable discourse. Game of Thrones last seasons. Anything after 2016. And also people getting offended by everything. Seriously, people are trying to ban clapping. Those shirts that have the shoulders cut out. Male-to-female movie remakes/reboots. If you want women to really succeed, let them do so with something original, massively drawn on eyebrows. The surge of extreme right-wing, xenophobic, and white supremacist/nationalist politics. The rise of right-wing extremism and descent into fascism. Removed. The rise of socialism, white nationalism, current political populism. Trump in the US, Boris in the UK, conservatives in Canada, all causing strife and corruption with every day they are in power. Fascism, deleted. Donald F'(I.N.G). Trump. I mean, come on. I don't support him, but a lot of people do. It is an embarrassment to our country and the world. Hopefully by 2021 he will be history. Voting idiots into the highest offices in government. Deleted. SJWs. Fortnite. Sleeve tattoos. Hands down. Feminism, Yeezys, Serpeme, and AirPods are all regrettable. Also, rap music in general got ruined. MCU, nationalism, again. It's 2020, we should be over this shit. In the words of Bad Religion, 3 decades ago. And #X200B. Greater than I don't agree with the outdated trend. Greater than nationalism is an evil friend. Greater than but hatred is instilled by invisible lines drawn in our minds. Greater than and the Fertile Crescent is haunting us today. Greater than and baby our instincts are too. Greater than the ghost of humanity is warning us this way. Greater than and I think we all should heed it, don't you know? Greater than 'cause we've got nowhere else to go. Removed. Transgender, fascism. Edit. I would have downvoted Me Too for clearly missing the point of the post. Fascism. I'm just turning this dark if you don't mind. Also Brexit and playing music, or what's left of it, on your phone speaker, being trans, gay or whatever. It gets real fucking annoying. SJwism, twerking, getting offended, 4,500 genders, Donald Trump and the rise of the alt-right. It's been obnoxious, Gangnam Style and flossing. Electing unqualified sexist, racist, homophobic, narcissistic cunts into office. 98.7% of the music. Personally, I'd say the authoritarianism and revitalization of straight-up neo-Nazis. But, I guess people are also pretty upset that it's hard to tweet the N-word or whatever. Removed. The rise of fascism. Fascism. Removed. Voting for the far right. Removed. I'm gonna go with Nazis.